As you all know, I am a huge fan of Monkey Kid, if my channel isn't enough to go by. And it's one of my favorite shows of all time, which means I love it dearly. But no piece of media is perfect, and the same goes for Monkey Kid. So, let's dive into what I think is Monkey Kid's biggest flaw. Now, I am sure everybody who watches my video loves Monkey Kid for its stellar animation, amazing fight scenes, surprisingly emotional themes, and amazing character development. So yeah, when it comes to characters, Monkey Kid can be hit or miss. You'll have some amazing character development and choices like MK and his journey throughout the show, or the rivalry between Macaque and Wukong, but even those character interactions can be a bit undercooked, with the fact we still don't really get the most meaningful transition from them being enemies to frenemies. Everything is done through the use of single sentences to bring them back together. Though you love to see them working together again, it's something to think about. But that brings us to the other characters of the show. In this video, I want to discuss Monkey Kid's character development problem and how it affects the main cast of the show. So, let's begin. I first want to start with May, and she may have gotten a whole season dedicated to her, but there is still not much we get from her besides her powers and her lineage, and we never get a reason on why she was friends with MK in the first place. No origin story whatsoever. Sure, they have chemistry, but it's not really enough to explain why they became besties in the first place. Starting with the fact that they actually don't get much screen time together of them just being besties beyond season 2. Ever since that season, it's always been team-up episodes, and we never get some in-between episodes of them just being besties. And the show expects us to say they are still besties because they said it 2 seasons ago. The situation got bad enough that season 5 had to acknowledge this problem by letting May be jealous of her lack of screen time with MK. The same goes for the rest of the main cast. We don't delve much into their origin story or why they are even part of the group in the first place. They just exist. And once again, explained through a single sentence that most people would forget about. This is especially seen in the character of Sandy. Like May, the writers are aware there isn't enough of Sandy in the show, and we don't get to really delve into his past or character that much besides being the big guy who's actually pretty chill and only uses 5% of his power. And even a season that was all about origin never really gave us an explanation whether he was the descendant of Xiao Wujin or the same guy all those centuries ago. With Pixie and Tang, we already know they are clearly descendants of Zhu Gonglie and Tang Sanzang, with them acknowledging their birth parents as well.
But Pixie, what are you talking about? I met your parents. These heroes existed hundreds of years ago. There's no way those could be us.
Well, for Sandy, we get basically nothing. It's also not helped with the fact that one of the more important figures in Sun Wukong's life, the Demon Bull King, had a very confusing, let's say, direction of how he's involved with the events of the story. We know he and the Monkey King were part of the Brotherhood together, but eventually they became enemies due to Wukong trapping him under the mountain. But we never really saw the whole thing go down, and you can't even say that it was an order from the Council of Heaven to bring the Demon Bull King down, because they clearly worked together again when they were taming the Samadhi Fire. And also Wukong doesn't have his crown there, so yeah, probably not an order from the heavens. Though the reason for them not being banished was never even properly explained, like them not being banished to the Ink Scroll. And me struggling to explain it should be a good indicator of this. Now, honestly, I think the main problem on why these missing character stories are present is because of a lack of priority. Monkey Kid is a show where they beat up the bad guy in a high-octane battle to please the viewer's eyeballs, and character-delving episodes or filler episodes are just not on the table for that kind of show. Along with episode counts only being 10 episodes per season, with 11 minutes per episode, the show had to prioritize what was more important to grab viewers into the show, and that only certain characters could get the proper development that they needed, and that was something that would also benefit the show as well. Like your main star, and the main star's biggest influences. Though the show has gotten better with character work over time, giving us some episodes dedicated to characters that were lacking depth, it's really a topic that could just be brushed over and something fans can easily ignore. The whole lack of character depth to the other cast members is not the end of the world, and it tends to happen to shows with really stacked cast members. I'm looking at you, Hasman Hotel. And the lack of episodes per season for Monkey Kid aren't exactly helping either. But that will do it for this video. I'm sure this isn't a big problem for you folks, but it is something that I picked up on as the show went on, and it's mostly a nitpick of mine. So don't take it too seriously. So please check out the other videos in the end screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.